Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Mixed Biology. In today's video, we'll be discussing about nutrition in humans. Humans show holozoic mode of nutrition. That is, they take in solid food and they digest it in order to provide nutrients, and these nutrients are used by the body for production of energy so that they can perform their day-to-day activities. So let's take a look at the human digestive system. The digestive system is also known as the gut or the alimentary canal. The alimentary canal is a canal that runs from the mouth to the anus. The alimentary canal is about 9 meters in length. The organs associated with the human digestive system are mouth or the buccal cavity, oesophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Digestion begins in the mouth and moves through the esophagus to a J-shaped structure called the stomach. Following the stomach is a highly supercoiled structure called the small intestine. The small intestine is about 6 meters in length and is very narrow. From the small intestine, the food passes to the large intestine, which is 1.5 meters in length and is broad as compared to the small intestine. You must be wondering, if the small intestine is longer than the large intestine, then why is it called small? Actually, the width is taken into consideration, due to which it is named so. Following the large intestine is the rectum and the anus. There are some glands associated with the digestive system. They are the salivary glands in the mouth, gastric glands in the stomach, liver near the stomach, and pancreas behind the stomach. They secrete digestive enzymes that speed up the process of digestion. So now we'll discuss about the mechanism of digestion in humans. The ingestion of food takes place through the mouth. The mouth contains the teeth, tongue, and the salivary glands. The teeth helps in the mechanical breakdown of food. It helps in breaking down the bigger food particles into smaller food particles. The tongue helps in mixing the food thoroughly. And the salivary glands secrete an enzyme known as the salivary amylase. The salivary amylase helps in the breakdown of starch into maltose. From the mouth or the buccal cavity, the food moves into the esophagus. No digestion takes place in the esophagus. The food moves through the esophagus by a movement known as peristalsis. From the esophagus, the food reaches into a J-shaped structure known as the stomach. The stomach contains gastric glands, and these gastric glands produce gastric juices which contain hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. Hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria coming along with the food into the stomach. It is also acidic in nature, hence it makes the stomach medium or the medium of the stomach acidic. Hydrochloric acid also activates the pepsin because pepsin requires an acidic medium to start its action. When pepsin gets an acidic medium provided by the hydrochloric acid, it helps to break down the proteins. So pepsin breaks down proteins. And mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the acidic action of the hydrochloric acid. So you all understood? The function of hydrochloric acid is to kill the bacteria coming along with the food into the stomach. It also activates pepsin. Pepsin helps to break down proteins, and mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the acidic action of hydrochloric acid. Now the food moves into the small intestine. In the small intestine, complete digestion of food occurs. The liver and the pancreas, they pour in their secretions into the small intestine. The liver is known as the largest gland of the body. It produces an enzyme known as the bile juice. So the bile juice helps in emulsification of the fats. Now what do you mean by emulsification? It means breaking down the bigger fat globules into smaller fat globules. If you put oil in a bottle of water and you shake it up thoroughly, you will see small droplets of oil floating around. This is exactly going on inside our body. That is called emulsification, or breaking down the bigger fat globules into smaller fat globules. Then, pancreas is also a leaf-shaped structure associated with the digestive system. It pours its secretions, that is called the pancreatic juice, into the small intestine. So, the pancreatic juice consists of 3 enzymes. One is the trypsin, pancreatic amylase, and the lipase. So, trypsin is like a sister of pepsin, right? So, it helps in the breakdown of proteins. Pancreatic amylase, as we have studied the salivary amylase works to break down the carbohydrates. So, it breaks down carbohydrates. And the lipase helps in the breakdown of fats. Now, the small intestine also secretes intestinal juices. They help in the complete digestion, or they help in breaking down the food substances into the simplest form. The intestinal juices helps in the breakdown of starch into glucose, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Now these are the simplest substances. So the small intestine also has tiny finger-like projections called the villi. The villi are very rich in blood vessels. So these simplest substances are now ready to be absorbed by the blood. So they get absorbed through the villi into the blood and they mix with the blood. So this process is the absorption process, right? When it goes into the blood, it combines with oxygen and they move to each and every cell. Each and every cell, as you know, have mitochondria. Inside the mitochondria, energy production is taking place. And because of energy production, we get energy to perform our day-to-day activities, or all the activities or the metabolic reactions that are going on inside our body. So assimilation of food takes place inside the cells, or we can say that it takes place in the mitochondria of the cells. Now, there is some food that is left undigested. They are not getting digested, or they have not got digested, so they move down into the large intestine. The large intestine also has these tiny finger-like projections called the villi. And the villi helps in absorbing the water and the essential salts from the large intestine. What is left behind is a semi-solid form. And these are then stored in the rectum for a particular period of time. After that, they are egested out of the anus. Let's take a quick recap of what we studied earlier. Ingestion of food starts with the mouth. Digestion also begins here. The mouth or the buccal cavity consists of the teeth, tongue, and the salivary gland. The teeth helps in the mechanical breakdown of food. The tongue mixes the food thoroughly, and the salivary gland produces an enzyme known as the salivary amylase, which helps in the breakdown of starch into maltose. The food from the mouth moves into the esophagus. No digestion takes place in the esophagus. The food moves by a movement known as peristalsis. From the esophagus, it moves into the stomach. The stomach contains the gastric glands. The gastric glands produces the gastric juices. The gastric juices consist of hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. Hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria coming into the stomach along with the food. It also makes the medium acidic, which starts the action of pepsin. Pepsin breaks down proteins, and mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach wall from the acidic action of hydrochloric acid. Now the food moves into the small intestine. In the small intestine, two major things are happening. That is, the complete digestion of food as well as the absorption of food. Liver secretes the bile juice and pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice. The bile juice helps in emulsification of fats and pancreatic juice consists of trypsin, pancreatic amylase and the lipase. Trypsin helps in breakdown of proteins, pancreatic amylase helps in breakdown of carbohydrates and lipase helps in the breakdown of fats. The intestine also secretes a juice known as the intestinal juices. The intestinal juices breaks down the food into the simplest form. That is, they break down proteins into amino acids, carbohydrates into glucose and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. These simplest substances are now ready to get absorbed by the blood. So, they get absorbed into the blood by tiny finger-like projections inside the small intestine called the villi. Assimilation of the food takes place in the cells, that is specifically in the mitochondria of the cells. The undigested food which is left behind now moves into the large intestine. Excess water and salts are absorbed from the large intestine and a semi-solid form which is left, it moves into the rectum and is stored for a particular period of time and then is digested out through the anus. Thank you for watching. If you have understood the topic, please like, share and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get further notifications of my upcoming videos.